Cannabis cuisine is time-released medicine at its finest. It's like thinking, I have amazing lungs. Maybe I shouldn't smoke cannabis. Maybe you should eat it.
Payton Curry is one of the most genuine people I've met.
Payton is just the coolest, quirkiest guy.
I found my tribe, like we're from the same tribe. And there's something about it that just clicks. And
he gets in the kitchen, he transforms. He becomes this mad scientist who's calculating everything, and everything's gotta be just right, and you really see the art come out.
For me, I don't know, he's an artist.
We are in Lehigh, Arizona, which is a small community inside of Mesa, and you're sitting in the home of Weed Jesus. I'm an endocannabinoid enabler. I'm a cannabis cuisine cook. I came here to Arizona about 12 years or so ago from San Francisco. We're doing a cannabis cuisine dinner tonight. A lot of the vegetables were in my garden this morning at my house in Mesa, and our farmer Kurt's here that grabbed the rest. It's gonna be 5 courses. I'm gonna cut up some cannabis fan leaves that we'll throw in a blender with some lemon, and that's gonna be the base of the vinaigrette for our first course kale salad. I moved here to open Digestif with Peter Kaspersky. Went on from there to help Cafe Boa expand, and then I took a culinary sabbatical with my wife and went to the Welcome Diner and brought back some fun into a neighborhood, and they brought back the love for me in the culinary world. And then went on from there to help open the Brat House, and now I'm with Flourish.
I met Payton Curry several years ago, became friends with him a few years ago, kind of on the topic of cannabis as food.
So I was cooking with pot at 19 years old in Minnesota, and I started feeding athletes of collegiate level a cannabinoid cuisine, and they started coming back to me and saying, Payton, I was sore before I came to this dinner party. I ate all of these structures, and the next day the soreness went away. To me, I felt like I was onto something. A couple 100 milligrams of THCA flying through that salad for each of us, which is completely non-psychoactive, but very, as Kurt said earlier, nutrient dense.
For so long, there's been the stigma against cannabis, and the repercussions of that stigma have affected communities at large. These patients have been here for forever, and they haven't had access to the medicine that they need and the wellness that can bring value to their lives.
The benefit of enjoying cannabis cuisine is that it allows therapeutic relief that you cannot get in any other form. Halfway through a dinner party, we always allow it to become a choose your own adventure. You can start to add some THC to your meal. We encourage that halfway through the meal, since everyone's gonna be staying here. They'll be feeling this by the time we hit dessert. And this is 5 milligrams of THC per teaspoon, which they can then spoon over their beet salad, which would be a great garnish. Would I suggest a half a cup on this? Not so much. You are able to maximize the therapeutic benefits of this plant for a long-term relief or a long-term benefit.
He's always thinking about, hey, how can we change this perception? How can we bring this to the community? How can we get people to understand or see the things that we see every day?
When we get into this main course, it's good corned beef, a good base, and then we'll medicate the mustard. Overwhelming from the edible experience?
Flourish, I think, was the most brilliant name he could come up with for his company, because what he's doing is focusing on helping everyone around him flourish.
My culinary career swallowed me up into jugs of vodka. I was on my bathroom floor. Just blew a .44 DUI about 4 days prior. I'd given myself alcohol-induced seizures, and I was lying on my floor with zero appetite, and I needed to flourish again, is what the thought that ran through my head. To be able to rid myself from these seizures, I needed to stabilize my entire body. I needed food, I needed wellness. I was able to get this tincture of Rick Simpson oil under my gums and my mouth. The seizures were gone, and within an hour I was downstairs in my kitchen, ravenously hungry. I had the munchies, and the munchies saved my life. I was able to get food in, and the anti-nausea properties of that cannabinoid structure kept that food in me. And for me, at that point, this was 5 years ago, I realized that I needed to stop being the conduit from corporate America to cannabis and start to flourish on my own.
Our relationship works really well with Flourish because we're kind of like their farmers and they're our chefs.
Harvest is the leading cannabis company in the country. They are a brand that focuses and strives on the wellness platform and technologies that lie inside of this plant.
We create their ingredients, their main ingredient, the distillate or full spectrum oil, whatever kind of oil configuration that they need to make their magic, that's what we do for them.
All right, so we're about to enter the extraction lab where we make all the oils and concentrates. Yeah, cool. So the CO2 that we use is medical grade CO2. It's very difficult to find that kind of grade or quality. CO2 is also incredibly selective. So if you were to do an ethanol extract, for instance, it'd have to be really cold, and it strips out a lot. So you're stripping out a lot of the plant colors, the waxes, pigments, all that. The CO2, we're able to be very selective, and so we're just getting the cannabinoids that we want.
We're very analytical about what we're doing. Everything is broken down and formulated. What makes working with Flourish so great is that they understand that formulation and that necessity to keep that standardization throughout their medicine.
Without the lab, I am snake oil. Without the lab, I cannot give you something and say that this is 10 milligrams of this delta or 10 milligrams of this cannabinoid.
Every time a batch goes through the extraction machine, we'll test it. At the end of this stage, we'll test it, and then at the end of that stage, we'll test it.
The nice thing about lab results is I know that this is 688 milligrams per gram by weight. I will take my just over 1,000 milligrams requested. I will divide that by 688 to tell me how much of this material I need to then add to my other material to homogenize to give me at the end 100 milligrams of THC per 200 grams of bitter orange marmalade.
We are a farm-to-table cannabis company. We pride ourselves on our cost comparison to others, and we also pride ourselves most on the ingredients.
What separates Flourish from the masses when it comes to cannabis cuisine, we want to infuse your entire pantry. There are 9 peacocks that live here. And these strings keep the peacocks from flying in.
I mean, he's a beacon of light to me, and not ulterior motives, no manipulation. What you see is what you get.
Kurt is one of my mentors. He's one of my muses. Kurt is a nutrient-dense biodynamic farmer out in South Mountain. For us at Flourish, Kurt provides a lot of our vegetable matter that goes into our baked goods.
This is what we're gonna make out of the produce from those trees right over there. This says Lehigh. These oranges came off the trees in my backyard. These oranges are right over there. We'll load up these buckets and make some marmalade.
I think the biggest thing that you can see working, especially if you get into a kitchen with him and you see him moving, is there's no fear. It's a fluid moment, and he'll take risks.
I need structure. Without structure, I am full of chaos.
Well done. Job well done. Thank you so much.
I've been a father for almost 4.5 years. My children changed my life. I'm not perfect. In no way, I'm human. I am practicing every day to be better. But when my children came, it allowed me to recognize how fast I am burning through this human experience. My wife gave me a purpose that I never thought existed. And for me to see Payton Curry as the dad, Payton Curry as the father and husband, I would have looked at that person 10 or 15 years ago and said, that's impossible. I don't cook for me. I cook for those around me. I want them to feel safe first. I want them to educate. I want them to also trust the process once they are educated.
Come on, come enjoy dinner, please.
Enjoy!